Hi everyone. A friend sent an article recently, and it talked about the author said that the level of musicianship has gone up over the past 30 years. And the first thing, as musicians, as authors, as people who talk about music, write about music, the first thing we have to understand is that there's a big difference between musicianship and technical abilities. And although we have many wonderful young musicians all over the world who play at a very high level technically, that doesn't mean that they have the skill set to have wonderful musicianship, to be a world-class musician. Because a world-class musician is not someone who only has the technical abilities to play something, but someone who is able to bring something unique to the table, and their own interpretations, we call it in music. And to bring that unique approach, it's not just what you're able to look at the score or the piece and play technically, or listen to what your teacher is saying and do exactly that, but your ability to take a score, and sometimes a completely new score, and be able to bring that music to life. And this is something that world-class musicians are able to do, and very few young artists are able to do. And that's because the years of experience, the understanding of not only how your fingers move on the particular instrument, but what the music is saying, and being able to bring to life the music and not just the notes, understanding all the little things that make music, and that those are not just the notes, those are beyond the notes, those are in the notes, those are the comparisons between one note to the next, the measure to the next, the phrase to the next phrase, from movement to movement, and understanding all these complex ideas in music that are beyond just the notes on the page, and understanding the individual note and how your finger is playing that particular note on the instrument. So it takes years of experience, and this is something frustrating, because as much as I like to believe that the technical abilities are better on average, maybe, and we have so many amazingly talented kids that play at a very high level, the musicianship, it's either the same as 30 years ago, or maybe it's even worse. I don't know, but it's definitely, I highly doubt it's better. We've had some great musicians in the past, and you could still watch some of them, and many of them you can't even watch. And this is something that I also compare to sports, because as soon as some young star comes to any sport, the public tends to forget what happened in the past and the resources that some of those past athletes had to get to that level. And the same thing we're doing in music is a very unfortunate, because we shouldn't be doing this in music or the arts, and we're unfortunately doing this. And just because something is in the present, that doesn't mean it was better than the past. Look at the resources that some of the past musicians had to get to that level, to bring the music and the artistic level of playing that they did, and look at what we have now. We have some great musicians now, but that doesn't mean that those from the past were less. And of course, like I said, technical abilities are pretty high now, but I'm doubting that the musicianship is at such a high level at this point. So it is what it is. We have to keep going and keep talking about music deeply, to understand the roots and where we're going, because I think the reason for some of these problems, the reason for these mistakes in the classical music world, is because we don't deeply think about it. We practice our craft and we do it on such a high level, but we forget to talk about it, to be able to express it in words to people, not just our own circle of musicians, but to people who are not musicians and are trying to understand what we're trying to do.